Alright, recording started. These are always recorded for the new people and put up in the members area, usually by the next day. So, alright, this question is from Gary. Yeah, that Gary, I can already tell you that's probably a problem. Anytime like I have a new client site or whatever, and I see that many referring domains, 200 referring domains, um, it worries me. And I'll look into what kind of links they are. A lot of times, that many referring domains, it's better just to start over on a new site. But sometimes I will, fire a couple links and then see if I see any movement. But most likely, it's a penalized site, Paul or Gary. From Paul, I've never heard the term domain popularity, but I imagine it's interchangeable with domain authority. I would guess. From Wilson, you target as many keywords as you want, Wilson. You can target one, you can target 100, you can target 1,000. It just depends how much you can expand on the keywords and how many keywords you're targeting per page and all that stuff. From Rob. Um, I don't have a ton of 301 experience, Rob. Next time we get Jimmy on a call, we can ask him. But me personally, I wouldn't do that with the bad domain. But you could ask that in the Facebook group, and someone might be able to give you a better answer. Because I just don't mess with 301s that much. From Alfred. Whatever authority fits your budget, Alfred. Uh, and it depends what niche you're going after. I've shown this example many times. Let me go to Google. This is a friend of mine. He owns a barber shop, and I did this with one link from a site that cost me about $50, something like that. I don't remember the price. Anything you type in about barbershop, Delaware barbershop, Delaware barbershops, best Delaware barbershop, and this is all just from one link. Okay, one link from one expired domain, which wasn't even that expensive. So it really depends on the market you're in and what you're doing. I mean, there's not really like a limit. All right. So let me go get a new set of questions. A lot of people tonight, so we'll probably be on a little more than an hour, I'm guessing. But we'll see. Alright, from Dave. Mostly, Dave, I rank my sites by mostly PBN only. And I have no problem at all. If it's a big site like KLKS, I might do some social, like link to Facebook to it and all that. But outside of that, I don't really need much else. You really don't. From Mika, yep, you'll find a replay of this in the members area when it's all done, probably by tomorrow. From Ken, yeah, you can set up a call forwarding number, Ken. You can use a service like callfire.com or analytic call tracking, and they can track your numbers and all that stuff. And you can track who calls there and then follow up with a business. From George, oh, okay, Jordan Fletch cut his short. From Calvin, you want to start with the orientation, Calvin. The orientation section, get that webinar, and Dave just did a new video on orientation, how to get started and all that. From Teb, yeah, again, how many I developed doesn't. It really varies. That barbershop took one. CalCast I've probably done, I don't know, 80 by now because I'm just targeting so many keywords for that. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. James, no specific amount of referring domains, James, just good links, quality links. From Ben, I usually change all my content, Ben. Totally new content. Leaving the content the same and changing the city or town, I think that still works. But I would just be very careful doing that because who knows how long that will last. from Dan. Yeah, yeah, you don't gotta have SEO in the title or in the domain, Dan. You can use that. From Guy. I mean, really, they change their algorithm every day, but I mean, major changes a few times a year. And of course, we stay on top of that guy. I got tons of sites out there that I watch, and anytime there's a change, I make sure I, try to figure out what's going on as quick as possible. Not just for you guys, but for me as well. So, from Wilson. I mean, usually you can tell by like what type of keyword it is. Like, obviously if it's something like weight loss, it's going to be really hard. Um, and you can also look at what domains are ranking and what type of domain authority they have. Do they have links going to them and all that? But I would stick with long tail keywords to start if you're even asking that question because long tail keywords convert very well and they're easier to rank for. So, from Anthony. Yeah, again, if you're just getting started, go through the orientation section. Go through orientation webinar, David's new video, and go from there. The first thing you want to do though is learn how to build a PBN and all that stuff. I mean, anything that's just natural to the site, Paul. I mean, if it's a dog site and it's naturally having links from other dog sites and all that, that's natural. You can tell by the anchor text, like if there's a lot of branded anchor text, that's usually natural. Um, so you just look at who's linking to it, what anchor text they're using, and all that stuff. And I cover that in a lot of the videos. From Ted. And you don't necessarily have to delete them, Ted. You can just leave them the way they are and, just do what I showed going forward. That's not a big deal. From Ken. Yep, and I just did a video on that, Ken. From Gavin. That's irrelevant, Gavin. How many pages? You can use them all for one page. It doesn't really matter. From Daryl. Yep, absolutely can use WordPress. That's actually what I recommend. I rarely use Google Analytics, Bob. I don't really do that side of things. I let partners take care of that. But I know a lot of my partners use GetClicky. From Ken. I cover this in videos, Ken, but just because you have pre-existing links going to the site, it gives it domain authority, so it's getting power. All right, so it's pre-powered, it's pre-trusted, and that's why we use them. From Ben. Yeah, I believe so, Ben. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm working on that now with Jimmy and the Network Empire crew. From Brian. Yeah, Brian, I cover that in the sink or swim method a lot. I talk about it over at the optimization a ton. From Ted. And guys, if you're new, the best thing to do is watch the videos first and write down questions you have because I cover a lot of these questions in the videos. So that would be my recommendation. No, I don't silo my PBNs, Ted. From Wilson. No, no, you just want to set it up before you start your linking. You want to know what URL is going to rank for what keywords. That way you can link to it and make it rank for it. So as long as you know before. From Anders. Probably the 5 really good ones, but again, it depends on the niche. It depends what type of keywords you're going after. For local, you'd be fine with 10 low ones, and that would be cheaper and easier for, an easier keyword. But if you're going after tougher ones, you want to go after the better sites. So, all right, let me go get some new questions. From Gordon. Not really any limitation there, Gordon. I mean, you can use 30 different money sites on your 10 PBNs if you want. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't put too many links in the same post, because then it starts getting spammy. Um, but yeah, I mean, not really any specific limitation. You know, rarely are you going to have too many money sites in the same niche. You know, I have a lot of sites in the same niche. I don't think I have any more than like 15 in one niche. So, and that that's high. From Evan. Nope, no time frame. Doesn't matter when you start, you'll use the power. That's all that matters. From Scott. I wouldn't keep repeating SEO in the inner thing, Scott. You know, if you're gonna set up an SEO, just set up an SEO silo. So you got domain.com/SEO/city like that. You know, that's too long. And then you can take care of expert in the title. You know what I mean? You can have like San Francisco, if I spelled that right, SEO expert. If you're trying to target expert, you can just put that in the title. You don't gotta apologize for being late. No problem. From what's up, Pete? From Wilson. I probably used like Best Delaware Barbershop, something like that. Wilson, I forget. It was a while ago. From Ben. I haven't looked at that yet, Ben. So I'm not entirely sure. I gotta meet with Jimmy on that soon to do the PBM Reloaded thing too. Just the higher the better, Bob. You know, anything over 10,000 is great. 10,000 to 50,000 is good. 50,000 to 250,000 is pretty good, and below 250 is eh. So, from Paul. Yeah, it just depends what method you want, Paul. I just like my way of doing things. I'm stuck in my ways. You know, I have my process for finding domains. A lot of people like PBN Sniper, so it just depends what. Neither way is wrong. Yeah, same thing. Probably like Delaware Barbershop, something like that. Yazid. Branded anchor text means when you use your anchor text and it's the name of the link or the name of the company, something like that. Mostly the same thing, except for your money site ones. You're looking for a domain that has a name that makes sense that you can use, and you don't want cats.com to promote a dog product. And then you are also looking for a lot of branded anchor text. Same thing, kinda. You know what I mean? But you kind of want to pay more attention to the domain name and a little bit more on the anchor text. You want as much branded anchor text as possible. That's what I like at least. From SJ. You can no, you can still rank thin sites totally fine. Nothing wrong. I have smaller sites that do totally fine. SJ. From Rob. Um, no, I didn't really have an idea. You know, I just started firing. I would see where I ranked and take it from there. You know, I started with the easier keywords and just kind of worked my way up. From Elizabeth. Yeah, usually. Most of the time I'll just use NS1, NS2, but I will use different numbers sometimes. From Azid. It should be in our members area, or you can go find it at wordpress.org. And we got a lot of people on, so I'm still about 9:05, about 10 minutes behind in questions. Like I said, I'll probably end up staying later than an hour tonight because we have so many people on. From Brian. Yeah, you can, and I do that, Brian. I had KLKS.com, the homepage ranking for electronic cigarette on the homepage or on the first page of Google for a while. Then I kind of let go because it wasn't converting too much PBNs for something that just wasn't profiting that much. So, from Ben, I have done it, Ben. I just like using them just directly to my money sites more though. I'm testing more with it, but right now I use them pretty much all to my money site unless I'm doing testing. From Paul. I don't know if I did a video on that, Paul, but the person who made that video, his name is Dan Pulaski. He's in the Facebook group, if that's kind of what you're getting at. From Tom. It's probably fine to do, Tom. I wouldn't use it for too many sites, maybe like 3 or 4, something like that, but I wouldn't keep using it site after site after site, me personally. From Paul. I mean, page authority is great. You want to have, if it's high page authority and domain authority, that's good. You know what I mean? Um, if you have high domain authority, low page authority, I kind of look at that as the same as like medium page authority, medium domain authority. You kind of got to mix the two together. I skip Anthony's. No, I don't know what you mean there, Anthony. From Yazid. Yeah, and we covered that just a little bit ago. From Jeff. Yeah, how many PBNs you use really depends on too many factors to answer, that general of a question. Depends on the keyword competition and all that. From Gavin. I'm actually going to write down questions that people always ask so I can cover them in videos. From Gavin. I use different PBNs, Gavin. So each link you have will have a different anchor text going to the same page. From Pete. Yeah. Yeah, and I cover that in the sink or swim method. How to use your anchor text. From Poll. Yeah, I mean, I'm using about 80 PBNs right now to KLKS, something like that. Yeah, but I started slow. I started a low amount, and a lot of those PBNs are used for really competitive keywords that need a lot of PBNs. So I mean, it's not as many as it seems, really, because I built my way up slowly, and you gotta build your way up. From Wilson, and I just did a video on that, Wilson. It's in your members area. From GW. I don't know, GW. Never used it, so I'm not sure. I just embed the code as text, in the HTML code. From Alfred. You're going to need a lot, Alfred, for something like phone charger. Again, my recommendation is go after long tail keywords because they convert way better. You know exactly what the person wants. Someone doing phone charger could be really want anything. They could be looking on for something about why their phone charger is broken or why their phone charger does this or that. Like you don't know what they're looking for. Whereas if someone types in AT&T iPhone 5 phone charge, you know exactly what they want, and you can display that when they get to a page. So I would do long tail keywords. Trust me. Probably Rob. Yeah. Yep. From Brian. Yeah, I put it in a spreadsheet, Brian. That's exactly right. From Gordon. No, 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 Gordon. Just again, I use my PBNs to my money slate. That's it. That's all you got to worry about. From Gary. Pretty much, Gary. Yeah, I would. If you want to, you can send a few links for like long tail keywords and see if they rank. You know, like really easy to rank for keywords and see if you see a lot of movement for it. And if you do, then you might be all right. You know, you can kind of test. From James. No, I don't build links to my PBNs. I just go buy new ones. From Dan. Yes, that's fine, Dan. From Wilson. No minimum. No minimum. I mean, there's keywords out there that get 5 searches a month that you can make thousands of dollars with. That show they get 5 searches a month. So I mean, there's no minimum. From Andy. I don't know any off the top of my head, Andy. From Vadim. Yeah, you definitely want different. I mean, you don't need different hosting accounts, but as you get more and more sites, you want to use different hosting, just to be safe. But you definitely want each site to have a different IP. From Mary. Just PBNs, Mary. Someone did try to negative SEO me. If you're seeing those links, I didn't do them. From Pete. Yeah, having the keywords in the content will definitely help, Pete. Then of course you want them in your anchor text where you're building links. From Ben. Yeah, same any URL, Ben. You don't. I mean, there's no point really linking to it twice. And you're not really doing anything more to power it. It's not going to hurt you. It's just not. You're not going to get any more power from it. From Minaj. You aren't also getting their website. You're just you're getting the domain, which has all those links going to it, which means it's powered. You're not getting their website. You're just getting the domain name, which is powered, pre-powered. From Ben. Usually like a day or two, Ben, but it depends who it's with. You know what domain registrar. Some of them can take a few days. I've had to take up to a week, but usually within a day or two. For GW, I use limit login attempts. You can use Spider Spanker to help a little bit with security, but I'm not a big security person, so I don't know the best answer for that. Jeff, yeah, I use something called Microsite Masters for that. I mean, it's a paid service, but micrositemasters.com. That's what I use for my keyword tracking. You're welcome, Wayne. I'm not sure what you were thanking me for, but you're welcome. From SJ. Yeah, I mean the one that I used as an example was like a PR2, PR3 exactly. It's that's not really like a super hard keyword. Yeah, you don't need like the really good ones, SJ. You can go with the PR2 quality, PR3 quality, and do fine. Now you can't expect to rank for the super competitive keywords, but you can definitely use them, start with them, and build your way up. That's what I did from Yomi. I just go with one, whatever one has more links, Yomi. From Wilson. I mean, NHB pretty much is OMG now, Wilson. We only have the coaching, so I mean, it's basically the same thing now. Nope, I never cross-link PBNs. From Les. No, I haven't even paid attention to that, Les. I wouldn't worry about it. From Tom. Give it some more time, Tom. I had the same thing happen recently. It took a couple weeks, so. From Paul. Not that I know of, Paul, but you can ask that in the Facebook group. There's a lot of people from those areas that can tell you for sure. From Wilson. No, you can do that. You can do it with the categories, Wilson, if that's easier for you. Gary, I would honestly recommend just starting a new site. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but it's probably going to be the easiest thing. Ted, that's probably in one of the beginner videos. I would ask that to anytime you want to know where a video is on something. I would email David at omgmachines.com because he's the one that places the videos, like what goes where. From Angela. What do you mean by what content, Angela? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, PBNs, you can use cheap content. I use cheap, unique content. It's not the greatest content, but it's unique and it works. For my money sites, once they get ranking, I have someone write something that will convert for me. You can find people in the Facebook group. You can find people at article writing sites. From Wilson. It can be a problem, Wilson. No, I wouldn't do it anymore, but yeah, I mean that can put you into problems. From Scott. Scott, I would probably start with just changing the title first to fit your keywords. I don't like changing my URLs unless I have to. But yeah, I would change the title first and go from there. From Joe. Again, I would email David to know exactly where a video is. From Gavin. No, Gavin. We're looking for that for a different reason. Because that just shows natural links. And it helps us, if we want to target that URL for something, we can really hammer money keywords. Because it's already filled out with branded anchor text. From Malcolm. The Facebook group, Malcolm. I think there's some people in there to do it. But Mike takes care of a lot of our design. From Yazid. I mean, you just gotta look at it in hrefs or something like that, Yazid, where you see how many links it has, you see what the anchor text is, and all that. But I can always help with that as well. I don't know what you mean by this right here. But I would likely do category, keyword, city, state. I wouldn't do them so long. You want to break up each category into a section. From Gordon. You can use any type of content on any site, Gordon. It's the link juice powering the site. And so you can use any topic, doesn't matter what topic you use or what the site was on. You can use anything. From Ben. I've never seen 10 videos ranking, but I've seen 3 or 4, something like that. From Josh. Yeah, absolutely, Josh. You're just going to lose the power that you're anything you were linking to. You're obviously going to probably end up taking those links down, and they'll lose that power, obviously. But no, there's no problem with that. From Paul. Yep, I start with easier keywords and work my way up. Easier keywords, just longer tail. Maybe something like best e-cigarette brands, something like that, or maybe brand names that aren't as well known. Like V2 Cigs and Green Smoke, they're really popular. Maybe I'll go after smaller brand names. Something that maybe gets a couple hundred searches a month. From Wahane. I mean, I don't know what you mean by that question. Just, pick stuff that's launching, get up a site, and send expired domains to them. That's that's how you would do the day job killer. From Pete. You change the SOA records, Pete, and I cover that in the videos. From Gavin. As far as the hosting email goes, Pete, for domain email, you do who is privacy. From Gavin. The e-cigarette brands page does the most traffic. I guess someone's promoting web hosting. From Yomi. Yeah, again, this question comes up a lot. I can't pinpoint how many PBN sites you need because I don't know how strong your PBNs are. I don't know what keywords you're targeting. I don't know what type of site it is. So that's impossible to answer, unfortunately. I wish I could. From George. Yeah, I'm not ranking for electronic cigarettes anymore. I kind of let go of that one because it wasn't converting that well. From Paul. I mean, just longer, Paul. Something that's weight loss for women over 40. That would be a long tail keyword. From Rob. Nope, I log into them one by one because I like to track exactly what I'm doing. And I don't let anyone else touch my stuff. I do it all myself, so. Spider Spanker hides links that the PBN is linking to. So you install them on your PBN so the robots don't pick up what that's linking out to, which will then hide them from your money site. Yeah, absolutely, Pete. Definitely send internal pages. From Rob. Yep, I definitely have done that, Rob. I do it all the time. I just do it slowly. If I need to change 10 of them, I'm not going to do it all in one day. I might do 2 one day, skip a day, 1 the next day, 3 the next day, skip a couple days, do 1. I'll split it up. From Joe. You can, Joe, but I would really focus on getting expired domains the way I show event, as soon as you can. From Paul. Nope, straight PBN to money site, Paul. Curlin. Yes, PR0 is fine if it has good links. Scott. And I cover that in the new video, Scott. I just did a video on that. They don't have to be themed. From Chris. I mean, they can be the normal price for some domains, Chris. It depends what type of domains they're going after. And if you can't afford that, I would just lower your qualifications. And the more research you do, the better chance you have of finding domains at a good price. I do tons and tons of research. From George. I've never really tested with it, George, but I'm sure it does. I wouldn't keep using the same keywords over and over and over again. Your alt tags, I would change it up, but yeah, I'm sure it helps a little bit. From Vadim. Yeah. Yeah, why not? If that's what you want to rank for. From Rob. That's a tongue twister. I gotta read this one again. Um, Subdomains. So I'm guessing they don't have different IPs. I would put them on different IPs if it were me. If that's what you're saying. From GW. Yeah, for different keywords. That's why you group them in different URLs. Yeah, in that case, GW, then you're just going to have 15 PBNs to rank it, you know what I mean? So you don't have the extra URLs, so depends how you set it up. From Scott. I believe they do YouTube videos, Scott. I've never used them for that, but I'm pretty sure they do. From Edgar. I don't do that, Edgar. I don't mess with it, so. I do both, Rob. I do everything. Don't really have like a specific recommendation. Usually, if it's gonna be a larger site, I'll do a branded. Sometimes smaller sites, I'll do EMD. Sometimes I'll still do branded. It really depends. From Gavin. It doesn't necessarily have to be about dog bowls, but at least something about dogs, Gavin. Just at least about the general topic. Yeah, so you can just do general stuff, Gavin. You can do stuff about dogs, and then start talking about, you can just kind of write in dog bowls in there creatively. From SJ. Not necessarily. It really depends, SJ. I don't do a ton with Weebly either, so. From Curlin. Nope, you can. They'll help you, Curlin. Again, they're not gonna like help you rank for car insurance or something like that, but they can help you. From Steve. I wouldn't link each keyword, but if you mention something you have another page on, then I would link to it. I mean, just link to that other page. For George. And you can kind of use Calcast as a blueprint. Go look at what I did for that. For George again. Yes, that's pretty much what I do, George. Or that's what I did, when I didn't have as many PBNs. From Gary. A referring domain is just, it's a domain. So if you have links from 30 different referring domains, that just means you have links from 30 different domains. They're totally different. That's all it means. From Pete. If you want to do a silo, then yes, that's what you would do, Pete. From Ed. Go check out my new video, Ed. I cover that exact question. That video was just released a day or two ago. From Rob. No, I just have someone set up my PBNs, Rob. And I use Link Juice Keeper to preserve the links. That's pretty much it. From Angela. Yeah, I show that in the videos, Angela, at least for the PBNs. For your money sites, I would talk to Mike about that. That's more about like design and all that stuff, which I just have other people do for me. But as far as PBNs, I cover that in the videos. If your content's not unique, Nan, it's just you just run the risk of running into penalties and it creates problems that don't need to be there, in my opinion. Or it's just like another factor you got to worry about, which you could get rid of by just using unique content. From Angela. Nope, you don't gotta keep the old content. Nope, nope, nope. And all you gotta use is Link Juice Keeper. That's it, Angela. That's all you gotta do. Now you can put up new content, link out to whatever you want. All that juice is still there. GW. Not necessarily GW. It's you gotta see who's ranking for what and how many links they have and what their domain authority is and all that. If I'm looking at a client, like an old client site, the more referring domains they have, the more concerned I am. Because, with SEO right now, less is more. The more you have, the more problems you can run into. So the more links I see going to a site that I'm trying to rank, that I haven't built those links for, then the more concerned I'm going to be. For GW. Yeah, and then the strength of the PBNs, of course. From Wahane. Yes, there is video on that. From Vadim. I personally wouldn't Vadim. I used to, and I didn't see good results from it after some time, so I just use unique content. If you guys ask a second like a follow-up question, make sure you include your first question, because I don't remember the previous question. From Gavin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to help you rank for these two for sure, Gavin, and that's why we do the sink or swim method. Which I cover in the sink or swim section. That's why we do it that way, because exactly what you just said. From Ted. Nope, you just install and activate. That's it. That is it. From Rob. No, you can't put a Spider Spanker on them, Rob. I don't think. Um, I mean, they can help, but I focus more on regular sites. Me personally. From Brian. Yeah, I mean that's fine, Brian. As long as it has good links, I'll purchase anything. From Joe. Yes, it does, Joe. They convert very well usually. An exact match domain, Yazid, means your domain name is the name of the keyword. Okay, so if you're trying to target weight loss for women, an EMD for that would be weightlossforwomen.com. An exact match domain. Elizabeth, you're going to want to go through the videos. PBN is a private blog network. It's a site we use to power our money sites. And again, we cover that deep in the videos. I'll go through orientation videos first, Elizabeth, and then work your way into the other videos. That kind of tells you where to start and all that stuff. From Badim. It depends. If they have good links going to them, I would keep them Vadim. If not, I'll get rid of them. From Aurelio. It's a lot harder to tell, and I have a video on this, Aurelio, describing, Google penalties. It's really hard to tell, but, if you don't have keywords you should be ranked for not ranking, or they're ranking on like 4th, 5th pages when they should be ranking a lot higher. Usually it's over-optimization penalty. But I have a video on this kind of describing it, but it's hard to tell nowadays. Weebly site's just like a Web 2.0 site, Ken. It's kind of like I like Tumblr or something like that, where it's a large site where you can kind of like create a blog on it. So that's kind of what it is. From Scott. As long as it has other good links and it's not a ton of bad links, Scott, that should be fine. From Andrew. More and more affiliate, Andrew. A lot more affiliate now than client. Whereas when I started, it was more client, and then I kind of worked my way into more and more and more affiliate. So. From Curlin. Yeah, cheap hosting like for your PBNs. I use Host9, BizBuilder, ASEO hosting I use, SEO web hosting. They're really cheap. There's Dollar SEO hosting. I've had some problems with them, but they're very cheap. Who else do I use? Let me see. Got my other computer here. I'll bring it up. I've tried Cloak Hosting. I have a few sites with them. Who else? HostSEO.org. Indianets. And I have accounts with all these people. Some of them multiple accounts. I think SEO hosts. I think it's .com. I think it's a .com. There's SEOhosting.com. There's Skynet hosting, and that's it. That's who I have accounts with. From Tony. The quickest way is to target long tail keywords, Tony. Targeting brand names and brand name review, that converts very well. Day job killer is a good way to go. How do you create a link? In the content, Gary, you just highlight it, you hit the link button, and you put in the URL that you want to link to. That's just in WordPress. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, talk to David Mills, David at omgmachines.com. We might even have beginner videos on that type of stuff. If we don't, he'll probably have me make them. Ken, Link Juice Keeper helps you keep all the links that are going to an old site. So if we buy like a site, site.com, and site.com has like links going to site1.com page 1. Well, when we get the site, we're just using site.com, okay? Page 1 will no longer be there because that's the old site. What it does is it redirects all the links going to page 1 and sends it to the home page, so it keeps the link juice. So any pages that don't exist anymore, it says, okay, if that page no longer exists, redirect that link to the home page, and that's what it does for us. So it keeps all the link juice. Link Juice Keeper setup is very easy, Wahane. You install it, you upload it through WordPress, and you activate it. That's it. So you go to WordPress.org and search for it, or download it from our members area. Okay, say it's on your desktop. When you're in WordPress, you go to Plugins, Install Plugin, hit the Upload button, choose that file, and hit Activate. That's it. From Paul. It doesn't have to be relevant, Paul. It does not have to be relevant. It's all about the link juice. From Steve. No, I wouldn't worry about just a couple, Steve. If they're not your links, you can't delete them. But I wouldn't worry about just a couple. From Vadim. I mean, Vadim, you would just do something like for that. For example, I would do like domain.com. Computer repair. Just as an example. And then location. Okay. And if you're going to do, if you're going to do state and city, you can do state and then city. All right. So this URL would target state computer repair. This URL would target city computer repair. That's the way I would set it up. All right, Joe. Yeah, I do, and I do use the same key every time, Joe. Don't worry about that. From Yomi. Just make sure you're looking at the site that you're bidding on, Yomi. So it's okay if it redirects. We're looking at the link. We just want to make sure that we have the site we're actually trying to buy up. All right. So just make sure you're looking at the right URL. From Arthur. I think you're talking about Microsite Masters, Arthur, I think. Yep, I think you're talking about Microsite Masters. From Paul. Yep, absolutely, Paul. Do it all the time. Aurelio. No, not a bad idea, Aurelio. You just won't get like a ton of juice out of them if they don't have, links going to them. From Curlin. I mean, you can, if those links are strong links, then it'll give you some power. I mean, if it only has 2 links going to it and they're weak links, it's not going to do much for you. From Edgar. You can if you want, Edgar. I usually just do content when I want to link out. That's just me. From Ed. Ed, I cover this in the new video. Just shot it, because a lot of people asked that question. From Tony. Easiest way to promote it? I would probably ask Fletch that question, Tony. I'm not that good with conversion. I just rank stuff and then kind of pass on conversion to other people. So, but I mean, as far as the SEO side, Tony, I would target like for like ClickBank or CPI. I would target like brand names, like product name review. That converts very well. As far as like how to set up the site, that'd be something to ask Fletch probably. From Ted. No, you can have your sites with GoDaddy as a domain registrar, Ted, and use a different hosting. You don't have to use GoDaddy for the hosting. From Gavin. I use so many different hosts just in case. Alright, Gavin, so say you got 50 sites on one host, right? Use all these 50 PBNs to link to your my sites, and something happens with that account. Where maybe your links are all down for 3-4 days. Do you want all your links down at once? You know what I mean? Like, and what if they find something and they can just find all your sites on the same server? Most likely it's not going to matter, Gavin, but I just do it just to be extra safe. All right. And you don't have to worry about that really till you start getting like a good amount of PBNs, like over 40 or so, I would say. I have 2 computers because my other one's slow as hell. So, I mean, when I'm working, if I can work 5 minutes quicker every hour, that's an average of 45 minutes a day. It saved me, which is a lot of money for me. So it's worth, one day is almost worth getting a new computer that's faster for me. So that's why. I actually have about 5 computers. I just use 2 of them now. From Gary. I don't know, Gary, because I don't know what you're using. So I'm not exactly sure. If you have any final questions, put them in real quick, and I'll get to all these final questions we got. Up to about 10 o'clock or so. Then I'll get this recording in the bag for everyone. I've never heard of Phoenix, Ed. Never heard of him. From Yomi. A PBN that has a 404 error page? That might be a problem with the hosting, Yomi. I don't know exactly what you're talking about there. But it's probably I would contact the hosting company. From Paul. There should be a high definition option, Paul. In the right hand corner, bottom right hand corner, you should be able to switch it to HD. Because a couple people complained to that. They went to the HD and it worked fine for them. Alright, GW. Talk to you soon, Graham. You are welcome, Wahane, from Janet. Oh yeah, that was for you, Janet. I forgot. I was forgetting who asked me to do that. Is there an ideal ratio for root domain and total links? Not necessarily. I mean, you kind of learn that as you bid on domains. But, like, a domain in the low 30s should have, on average, I don't know, like 30, 40 referring domains. Might only have 10 if they're really strong. Might have 60, 70. But when you start getting, like, referring domains and a couple hundred referring domains for a domain that has, domain authority in the low 30s, that's too many. And you'll kind of learn that as you go. And if you see, anything over 250, usually it has to be up in the high 40s at least, maybe even the 50s or 60s. But that's something you kind of pick up. And even if you don't know that, you can tell just by the links, what's linking to what the domain authority is, and all of that. If a site has 300 referring domains and it's all from low domain authority, then it's no good. So, and that kind of goes with Janet's question, Paul. But natural links are just links that not links that are like blog comments or from articles or from web directories. We don't want that because we can get them. We're looking for links that come from normal websites that don't link to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, not web directories, not article directories, not blog comments. If you have like a Nashville restaurant that you're looking at as far as like a domain name, that would probably have links from a lot of Nashville websites. All right, and that's natural. Maybe even Nashville Gov would link to it because it's a really popular Nashville bar. So they say, if you come visit Nashville, make sure to check out this restaurant, which is the name of the domain you're bidding on. That's a natural link. CPA is cost per action. No, you don't have to build a website for each keyword, Paul. You can group your pages to target specific keywords, and I talk about that in the videos. So I'll get one last screenshot here, and then we'll wrap up. So this will be the last one. This covers everything that I had up until now. Zoom. There we go. From Josh. No, it just gives you the data, Josh. Anyone that puts in your site will get that data. That's all. Difference between A class and C class is just the IP range. So, you get an IP, it's like 124.76.38.95. All right. A different C class could be something like 124.76.45.95. That just has a different C class. That's A, B, C, D. All right. Different A class would be something like 190.76, then different C class 37.95. So it just makes it even more unique, all right, because the first number is different as well. You are welcome, Ed. Good night, Gary. I don't really have a favorite, so to speak. It depends what you're looking for, Andrew. So, it depends what you're doing. I like private affiliate programs though, Andrew, because usually those don't have as much competition. Like a lot of the electronic cigarettes companies have their own private programs. So I like the private ones probably the best. All right, Scott, Gary, Gavin, have a good night. Welcome, Tammy, Paul. Yeah, I just submitted it, Paul, so I don't know where it is exactly. David can tell you that. It should be on the in the news section. So as soon as you log in it should say update, new video added, and that's where the video will be, for the new videos at least. For Tom, Tony. I'm not sure 1-in-1 allows different IPs, Tony. And I've never used them, so I'm not sure. Welcome Pete, welcome James, welcome Jeff. Welcome Bob and Tony. Yes, the expireddomains.net, Tony. That's the free one you can use. Expireddomains.net. Register Compass is the paid one. Alright? Alright, guys, that does it for this session. I'm going to get this recording in the bag. And I'll send it over to David, and he'll get it up for you. Again, if you're looking to know where videos are, ask David. David at omgmachines.com. He'll tell you where videos are located and all that stuff. Alright, guys, I'll see you next session, which will be probably early next week, I would imagine. See you all soon.